Hey guys, we have a few bugs in our GraphQL subscriptions that we're going to be fixing. So here I have the application up in two windows and I'm logged in as two different users, so Bob16 and Bob15, and they're both in the hashtag random channel. So as expected it works. I see the socket update or the GraphQL subscription called, and we see the message pop up here. But what goes wrong is if we switch to a new channel. So I'm currently in random. If I go to general and I type AB, we don't see anything pop up here. And then also if I type a B here, or let's do C, it's going to pop up over here, I think. And we shouldn't be getting this because we're in the random channel. That shouldn't update hashtag general. So let's fix these problems. So the first one we're going to fix is when I change to a different channel, I should still have subscriptions working. And the reason why it's not, I'll show you. So we have this component we'll mount. This is where we're subscribing. And if I just do a console.log subscribing, and we can see which channel we are subscribing to. So let this refresh. Alright, so here we're going to subscribe to channel 12 and channel 8. And notice when I move to random, we're not subscribing again. Oh, I spelled that wrong. But we're not subscribing again. And the reason for that is we're not mounting again. So we need to put this in component will receive props. So component will receive props will receive props, and here are new props, and in the new props we're passed a channel ID. Okay, so if you don't know how this function works, this is a lifecycle function that React gives us, and it's called every time the component receives new props. So for example, we can just do a console log here, and console.log the props and then channel ID. So you'll notice at first, I believe, let's see what the value of it is. Alright, so the props is 12, and then I change to general, we get 8, A we get 13, C 14. So you notice every time I click, we get the new channel. So really we'd like to subscribe to the new channel, which we get in the props right here. But we don't want to subscribe to the same channel we already subscribed to, so we're just going to do an if statement and say this.props.channelID is not equal to the new channel ID that we're getting. And if it isn't, we want to call this subscribe to more. But we don't want to, call the same function in pass basically the same. I don't want to just copy and paste this here. I want to make a function. That way we don't call the same thing twice basically. So refactor it out. So subscribe, and we're just going to pass in the channel ID, and let's copy this and put it in there. So now instead of using this.props.channelID, or just use the passed in here, and then call this.subscribe, passing in this.props.channelID. So now I can use the same function here. So this.props.subscribe, passing in the new channel ID that we're given. Perfect. And we'll return that as well. Okay. Okay, so we're subscribing when we mount and when we receive props. So let's see what that changes. So notice how I am in channel C. We'll say hello, and then we'll change to channel A, say hello again, and now we're still grabbing that, which is cool. But we actually just got a new problem. And that new problem is I've just changed to channel A. I'm going to change back to channel C and change back to channel A again. So I've joined channel A 2 times. So now I'm going to say hello twice, we get this little thing that says 2 children with the same key 122 message. So what does that mean? Well, React, we're passing keys for the list of messages. So it's saying we have 2, and we can see them right here. Hello 2. It should only pop up once. But because we subscribe to it twice, it's popping up twice. So if I were to come here again, I believe this would say hello 3 times. Yep, because we subscribe to it 3 times. So we're never unsubscribing. When we call this.subscribe, it's stacking. So we need to unsubscribe too. So the way we do that is it actually gives us an unsubscribe function pass back. So this guy right here, subscribe to more, what's returned, the return value for it is an unsubscribe function. So I'm going to say this.unsubscribe is equal to that. And I'm going to say this.unsubscribe is equal to that. So now every time we want to subscribe to a new one, I'm going to unsubscribe to the one we had before. But I'm just going to make sure that we are subscribed to something. So I check if there is an unsubscribe function. If there is, we're going to unsubscribe. And then I'm also going to just do this when a component will mount. So component will unmount this. I'm not sure if GraphQL automatically unsubscribes, so I'm going to call this just to be safe. There we go. Oh, okay. So I just need to put this above. There we go. Alright. So now we'll let this refresh, or maybe refresh already. So now we shouldn't get this problem. So I'm in hashtag A. I'm going to switch back and forth a couple times. So we should have subscribed to A bunch by now. So I'm going to say hello 4, and notice we see hello 4 only once. Awesome. Now there's one last bug I want to cover, and that's with caching. So the way GraphQL or Apollo works is it automatically caches your request. So we're requesting the data for the messages for a channel. So right now I have requested the hashtag A messages, and it's cached. So when I go to C and I come back to A, these values are cached and it's not making a request because I have it in the cache. But what that means is if someone over here, so if I'm in C, so I'm not listening for subscriptions on A because I'm in C, but if someone were to come into A and say hello 5, we see it pop up here, but if I come back to A, hey, it doesn't show up here. And the reason why is because we just read this from cache because we can, because it's there. So we need to tell our application, we can't really read from cache every time because our application updates a lot based on other users all over the place. So down here, and our this is basically our options for our GraphQL query. There we can pass in a options property, and in there there's what's called a fetch policy. Now there's multiple different fetch policies you can do, but one of them is called network only, and what that means is it will not cache this particular query. So we won't get the problem that I was just describing where the cache will read and be invalid. So I'm in C right now. So I fetched A already. Now I'm in C. And if I come over here to A and I say hello 6, we see it pops up here, and we can see hello 6 is there as well, because we're making a request to the network every single time. Alright, so that is it for this video, guys. I believe our application, or at least our messaging of it, is pretty sound now. Let me know if you guys find any other bugs with just messaging in the channels. In the next video, what we're going to tackle is authentication for subscribing, because right now anyone can subscribe to our messages, and we want to lock that down. So that's what we'll be working on in the next video. So thanks for watching, and I'll be putting this code up on GitHub if you want to check it out.